You've obviously went through some adversity throughout your careers too, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was the boat scandal. So how were you able to deal with that part adversity in your career? Because for those that don't know, the boat scandal, that kind of caused you to like
Scandal was like everywhere for the whole, I don't know, they just drugged that thing.
Hard Knocks got involved, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Jay Leno, everybody was on, it was everywhere. VH1 had a show called VH1 Top Celebrity Sex Scandals. But with that basically was something to bring camaraderie. I think we were like,
Really?
I want to say 2 and 5. Going into that 2 and 4, something around there.
This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it, cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Respect My Blueprint podcast, where we give you the blueprint on how to do shit. And I'm excited about today's episode, guys. We have a hometown hero.
No. I'm from Jersey.
But you played here in the U and played for the Dolphins.
Here, yeah.
You went to college here in the U and as well as played with the Dolphins and everything. But I consider you a hometown hero.
I think a lot of people do. A lot of people don't even realize I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
Because I feel like I was born there, I graduated high school there, and then from there.
Yeah, then everything
so
goes
that's where I'm from.
But you know what? For everybody, I want to introduce NFL All-Pro, former Super Bowl champion as well, too.
I'm always a Super Bowl champion.
I'm sorry, not former, a Super Bowl champion. Yeah, when I said former, like you said, a Super Bowl champion, philanthropist.
A national champion.
Oh, yeah.
And then last Tuesday, I just got inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to touch on that as well, too. Well, as you guys can see, we have a lot of juice to drop with you guys, and I want to introduce Bryant McKinnie. Bryant, oh, my God, I am excited to have you here, brother.
We left out one thing, too.
What's that?
I'm a 3-time Grammy-nominated co-executive producer.
My goodness. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
Are you human?
So you got to do some more research.
Man, listen, man, we got to get these VAs on point over here. Okay, for those who don't know Bryant McKinnie, because I feel like I'm taking away from you, let the viewers know who you are.
You pretty much said everything.
Summed it up a little bit, huh? So we got, which by the way, you were seventh in the Heisman Trophy voting.
No, I finished 8th.
8th.
I was 7th overall first round draft pick in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. The Vikings, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. You've obviously had a very accomplished and great career, right?
Yeah. But at the time, I think I was just in the moment and just was like, that's what you're supposed to do. And then as you reflect back after you retire and people tell you about things, you're like, oh, I guess I was kind of good. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about it at all.
No. But listen, you've done everything that any NFL player would ask for, right?
Yeah,
you won a Super Bowl.
And that's how I felt. That's what made me say I'm okay with retiring too, because I feel like, what else can I do?
Wait a minute. That's a good question for what led to retirement?
It was my 12th year. After my 12th season, I came from Baltimore to Miami.
Right.
And they had read like my injury chart and seen I had a current injury when they traded me. You're not supposed to get traded with injury.
I just was going to say that. Ain't that like prohibited?
Yeah, it was shit.
Funny a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, and I kept questioning. I think something's wrong with my knee. And when I got to the Dolphins, when they read the chart, they were like, you got a torn meniscus. I said, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So then after that, like the year before, I just won the Super Bowl. So it was like, what else am I here for? So I might as well leave on my own terms and not trying to just play to the bitter end.
Right. Because obviously, and it's crazy because back then the game was a whole lot more rough. It was a whole lot different than what it is nowadays.
It changed a little. It started to change towards the end of my career. Like when I first got there, it was definitely 2 full padded practices a day during training camp, things like that. Around 2010, maybe. Started becoming like 1 practice a day. It got like a little easier.
Right, okay.
And then by the time 2014 I was finished, it started definitely transitioning even more.
So now I want to talk about what you have transitioned to after football, right? Because after football now, like you mentioned, you're a 3-time Grammy-nominated producer during football.
Yeah. So with the Grammys at that time, it was back in January, and I was in the playoffs and I couldn't go.
Wait, come on, man.
Yeah, it was during football. When you play a sport, they want you to only focus on that.
On that sport.
And then they'll try to say, other things may be serving as a distraction. That's why you just got to make sure you're playing at a high level, because any small thing, they'll claim that as the distraction. But if you have good time management, you can be able to do both. Now, I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people. If they can find the right team or know how to manage their time, you can still get into some things while you're playing. And then like me, I was mainly into it like during my off season. I was heavy into the music side in my off season. And during the season, you just had people in position who would just send you things here and there. And I knew what days I could listen to stuff or whatever, but
Right.
it didn't distract me because I knew what my main
focus was paying the bills. Let me ask you, what's your thought of a lot of athletes doing their rapping and things like that during their careers? You seen Damian Lillard did it at one time, Shaq did it at one time. Those are just the notable ones that stick in my head.
I think, that's what I'm trying to say is even fans feel like that you're only supposed to do, they try to put you in a box. You know what I'm saying? And say, this is what you do and this is all you can do, but maybe that's not your only talent. God didn't just give you one talent. There's multiple things you can do. You just got to tap into them. So who told you that you only got to do this one thing? Just because you happen to get successful at it, you might get successful at something else too.
True, that's a good point.
You'll never know if you don't try.
Until you try. Okay.
Shaq went platinum.
Hold on.
He did.
But come on now. Let's not go there, Brian. Come on now.
He went platinum though.
Man, listen,
There's a lot of artists.
Shaq, I got a lot of love for you, man, but damn, bro.
There's a lot of artists that we know that still never went platinum, and they're still out here now, and they've never went platinum. Just like for me, there's a lot of artists who have never been acknowledged by the Grammy organization. I have. And there's a lot of artists that have been out here for a long time, have never gotten a Grammy certificate or any acknowledgement from them.
And that's wild. You did it. You did it as you were playing.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So let's talk about after your football life, because we're gonna get back to your football because there's a lot of things I want to touch on. But after football, how has life been? How have you been enjoying it?
When I first retired, I just got away from traveling and working out, like a lot of things. Just
you chilling, all the things you couldn't do while you were playing.
Got to remember, every Friday we had to weigh in, so you had to be a certain weight every week. That was my basically coming from college. You had to be the same. You had to weigh in every week of college, and then in the league. So I played for 12 years, and you got to go back to the 4 or 5 years in college. So that's a long time of having to weigh in at a certain thing and be this certain person every week that you just get away from it. Let me just not have to worry about weighing. Let me just do me for a minute. But then it's all right. You used to feeling a certain way too, so now it's all right. Let me get back to working out and
because your body got to adjust.
Yeah, and you're not used to carrying extra weight or not having proper cardio and things like that. So you do have to get back into. Some people get back. I got back into it. Not everybody. Some people stay away from it, but I just was like, okay, let me get back into
getting back
my health.
Yeah, getting back. And now you've become a philanthropist. You're an entrepreneur, and which I wanted to touch on those a little bit now, because obviously, as with the platform we have here. So how has how have you been transitioning into the world of entrepreneurship and philanthropy? Because
for me, it's been a little easier just because I'm not one of those people who, I didn't start playing football. I started playing sports at a young age, but I did it just for fun. I didn't start playing football until high school. Really? So you have a lot of people who started when they were like 6 and Pop Warner, and that's been their identity their whole life. So then when it comes time for whether it's an injury or retirement, or you just don't make it to the next level, or you leave the next level early, or you just retire.
Right.
They don't know how to identify themselves.
Okay.
I was always a social person. I always, just got along with a lot of people and just like more like energetic in the life of the party, where I played the sport and I always looked at, I played the sport because I liked it. I didn't play it because I felt like that's who I was. Like, I didn't identify myself as an athlete. I always knew who I was.
So, was Ricky a teammate of yours at the time you was with the Dolphins? Ricky
No,
Williams?
he was a teammate of mine in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, okay. But the reason why I say Ricky, because he's a real prime example of somebody who was great at the game, but as the heart wasn't there. Mm-hmm. You know what? And you just shared upon your experience and everything like that. So, do you feel like there's a good amount of players that's currently right now, or that's in the league that has that same feeling that you have right there?
What feeling is that?
As far as, hey, I'm playing at this game because I'm just physically, God has blessed me with the physical
I'm competitive
gifts.
too. So I'm playing because I end up liking the game, but I'm competitive. So I wanted to be good too.
Okay, but so because you, like I said, you were the first round pick, the 7th pick, and again, you was for an offensive lineman a high consideration for.
And then when I learned, because the event was just last week for the College Hall of Fame, is I'm the last offensive lineman who's been in the top 10 for the Heisman as well.
Really?
So, yeah, because before me, I know it was Orlando Pace.
But Jonathan Ogden, no?
Well, he was before both of us. So he might have been, I'm not sure, but I know Orlando Pace because he was somebody who, he was
polarizing,
years older than me. Yeah, and he was somebody that was like, look at him, y'all are both 6'8". But I was like, he was in a different conference from me, so I feel like it was a little different where it was more speed. In my conference, I had different people to worry about, but he just was like somebody that was on my radar. I knew he only gave up 1 sack his whole career and certain things, so I was like, all right, try to only give up 1 sack, but to be even better, just give up none, like things like that.
Right,
so,
okay. So you always had that competitive spirit.
Yeah, so he had became a guideline for me at a certain point. So it was like either match what he did or try to do better. So I was able to not to give up a sack. So I was able to do a little better.
Man. So was building a legacy on your mind throughout your entire career?
Nope. It was just competing.
But look what it led to, obviously.
That's why I say now when I get a chance to look back, I realize like, oh, a lot of the stuff I was doing was just like, I didn't want nobody to call me out in the meeting rooms and things like that. You know what I'm saying? For making mistakes.
Right, I see what you said.
So I'm out there just trying to do what I got to do to make sure I'm doing my job and then I'm not getting caught out for making any mistakes and stuff. So I studied my playbook and I went out there and executed.
Did your thing. Okay. Yeah. Now, you obviously been recognized by the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I said that because during our ceremony, we couldn't give speeches. They had a presentation for us, like a highlight thing, and they talked about us. But during our interview, we had a media day earlier that day, and they even asked me about finishing in the top 10 for the Heisman, and I had let them know. I said I was shocked because I'm a position that don't have any stats. It's like for you to even want to put an offensive lineman in that category. And even being in this Hall of Fame, it always takes longer because we don't have stats.
That is true.
Other people's stuff y'all can look at and say, this amount of tackles, this many yards.
How you quantify an offensive lineman, pretty much.
I don't know. So for me, it was like, but then I guess when you in college, you have all those different things, like you never give up a sack, part of a national championship team, finished 10th in the Heisman, Sports Illustrated, like all those different accolades, I guess it makes sense. But when it comes to the pros, like we don't have no stats. So it's like, you get graded. They grade them now.
Right.
We always got graded.
Like on pancake blocks and things like that.
They just grade you like your different things on execution, all that type of stuff. But that was only your coach, your position coaches. But now I see they get graded like the announcers, they know the grades. They didn't know that before. So you never knew what people graded out as. But John Madden would grade you like on the game.
Yeah, now Madden, and if you really think about it, in my era growing up on football, there's really you got to be somewhat polarizing. Like I said, Orlando Pace, Jonathan Ogden, because of the movie.
But still, to me, I just felt, no, that's Michael Orr. Because he was
Michael
my teammate.
Orr. I said Ogden.
He was
Michael Orr, right?
But that's the same team, though, but just two different
positions,
kind of,
right.
yeah. And I would say that too, but then also too, when it came to voting for the Pro Bowl, there was years that I probably had a better year than some people, but the fact that they made it a few years before me and they're older than me, it was just like, just vote for such a, because he always makes it in this, but they actually was hurt half the year or 6 games out the year when I played, you know what I'm saying?
The full year.
So that's why in certain situations, it just wasn't fair because I found myself being an alternate a lot too because you had those guys who were older than me. So it's like you had to wait for them to
get off a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's, all right, you're next in line because you've waited for, and I had a lot of great other tackles too, but there'd be some people who I watched and would play half the season because they got a hamstring or something.
Right. And
they would still make it. And I'm like, I've been here for all 16 games. And you can still make it. So that's why with certain things, I just feel like, I don't know, because I just know when we had to vote too, people, they were like, who should we put for this? Like for offensive line, they just never knew.
Okay. So you could say, looking back at your career, you can say you've been absolutely proud of all the accomplishments and everything. Because you've left it all on the field and everything like that.
Yeah, and then it's for the people to even notice it, it's like you had to been doing something because there's no numbers to look at.
Good point. Okay. Now, I want to get into a couple of things now. You've obviously went through some adversity throughout your careers too, right? Mm-hmm. There was the boat scandal and then the nightclub incident and everything like that. So how were you able to deal with that part, adversity in your career? Because for those that don't know, the boat scandal, that kind of caused you to
the scandal was like everywhere for the whole, I don't know, they just drugged that thing.
Yeah, Hard Knocks got involved, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Hard Knocks didn't get involved. Because it happened like in October, so Hard Knocks is normally that's normally during like training camp and stuff like that. So they're pretty much done by then. No, Jay Leno, everybody was on, it was everywhere. Yeah. VH1 had a show called VH1 Top celebrity sex scandals. It was on there. It was just everywhere. But with that basically was something to bring camaraderie. I think we were like,
really?
I want to say 2 and 5 going into that, 2 and 4, something around there. Yeah, because I do a Viking podcast every Saturday, every Wednesday called Believe in Vikings for a company called Believe. So we talk about it on there, and I had pointed out to, because I have 3 other co-hosts, I point out to them, I says, but if you actually look after the boat, because it was a bye week we had.
Right.
I said, so look at our record. We went in to the bye week, maybe I think 2 and 4 or something like that. And we came out on a 7-game winning streak. Because it put all that adversity.
In the midst of all of that.
Oh, it put only us against the world at that point. So all of us basically ended up having to stick together. So we came out, I think we were like 2 and 4. And then, because we ended up finishing the season like 9 and 7 or something like that. But we had a 7-game winning streak.
Oh, wow. So it's crazy how sometimes that's just in real life. Something crazy can bring that brotherhood and everything like that.
And it did, because in that locker room, it was just us
against them.
And when we traveled on the road to like different teams, they had signs and stretching, they're yelling stuff about the boat and all that stuff. And you had magazines, I forget what magazine, like a Maxim magazine. One of them, they did like an article on it. And they had like pictures of people that weren't us. But for people who don't know any better, they'll think
it was right, okay.
But it was like pictures of like random people that wasn't us. They didn't recognize nobody in there, so you should know it's not us, but I don't know. It was just a random article that they had, and it just had like people like on a boat, or I don't even know where they were, but trying to insinuate it was like the team.
But which, by the way, no crimes were committed or anything like that.
Everybody's adults.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing was, you had a teammate who was supposed to get a privacy clause signed. So in my mind, I'm like, you have an NDA. So, and they're like, oh, he forgot to get it signed. I'm like, and this is why I don't like to let certain people be in charge, but they were new to the team. They were all like, oh, come on, let's do this. And it was really 4 of us who put it together, who orchestrated it. We did have probation, though. So they did charge with like lewd activities or something like that, and just on probation, you just couldn't have lewd activities again for a year or something.
Oh, I mean.
It wasn't nothing too bad, but I feel like if it was in Miami, it wouldn't have been a thing at all.
Because this was in Minnesota, right?
On Lake Minnetonka.
Like, oh, my God.
We are purifying ourselves on the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
My goodness, man. If the fish in that lake can talk right now, right? Okay.
And then what people don't realize, it was 2 boats. People think it was only 1, but it was actually 2.
It was 2, okay.
It was 2 separate boats, yeah.
All right. But
you have Barstool Sports. If you look that up, they did like a whole video. They did like a whole reenactment. And then you have, well, I say his name Fred Smoot because he's in the video. So he's one of the guys who helped put it together. And he's in the video like narrating some of the things too. So.
Was it Dante in the part of the...
But he wasn't one of the people who... He got thrown in, but he wasn't one of the 4 people who helped orchestrate it. He just was present.
But he got the most heat though because he was the quarterback.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And was there, and somebody who worked on the boat recognized him. So that's how, well, it got back because some of the workers on the boat was talking, and a parent overheard them talking about it and had somebody go down and investigate the boat. The people never cleaned out the boat yet, so they just found like different things to prove that different things took place.
What's going on, right? Okay. It's good. And it's funny because, I think I was in my early adulthood, 20s or something like that when this occurred. But
I was too.
Yeah. Right? But it didn't dawn upon me as I was doing research on you and Wikipedia, and I'm like, oh, wow, damn, refreshing memories and everything like that. And the reason why I brought that up is because after that incident, shortly you got traded to Miami. No?
That happened in 2005.
That incident?
Yeah, the boat happened in 2005.
Oh, you had the nightclub in 2008.
Yeah, and I still was there until I went to Baltimore from Minnesota. And that was in 2011.
Okay.
None of those incidents had nothing to do with me leaving. I was the lone survivor of doing my job. You can't get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nothing that they wanted me to restructure my contract coming into the 2011 season, and I didn't want to. 2009 was the year we had Brett Favre. We made it to the NFC Championship. We lost to New Orleans in overtime. They changed overtime right after that game, and then it was just like, to me, I feel like that was my chance to get to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was here in Miami that year. The following year, they convinced Brett to come back. He really didn't want to. Right. We didn't do as good in 2010. Turned back around 2011. Brett's not back.
Well, that's when Brett was playing with the Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, the team just seemed different. And then I had an opportunity. They wanted me to restructure my contract. And I just figured, if I say no, then I'll be able to get a chance to let go. I've been there for 9 years, so this was my 10th season. So if I said no and don't agree, you're going to have to let me go.
They have to. Okay.
They called my mom. She was on a cruise. They couldn't get in touch with her. They tried to reach out to her because I wasn't agreeing to restructure because we were in training camp. And
so you was holding out in a way? No?
No, I was there, but they wanted to restructure my contract, and then I have to agree to it in order to do it. And my agent, I already told my agent how I felt. So he was like, just don't agree. So they called my mom. Like, I guess they assumed that she would have influence on helping me change my mind.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't even... Wait. NFL executives go that far to calling your parents?
They had a relationship with my mom because she was there all the time, got tickets. She would give them like gifts during the holidays. So they had a relationship with her.
Okay.
From being there so I've been here already for 9 years. This was now my 10th. And I didn't, I just didn't restructure my contract. So then they ended up having to let me go. And then when they let me go, it was during training camp.
Right.
So I tried to shave me a couple of days and miss training camp. And then Ray Lewis called right away.
Yeah, Hall of Fame Ray Lewis. Okay.
He just telling me I'm the missing piece. I need to come to Baltimore. I'm like, all right, give me a second because I need to see what other offers, who else would like me to come in. Because at this point now, I'm looking to see where I have the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't see it there in Minnesota anymore. And then also with him, I was saying, y'all got Michael Orr, who they just had a whole movie called Blindside.
Blindside,
I play left tackle. He played left tackle. I'm not playing right. That was another thing. And then he was like, no, he's going to move over to right. He doesn't mind. I need to be clear that he doesn't mind. I don't want to come into a situation where there's animosity already. You know?
You don't want to come into a locker room
so
with
like
that.
I just need to know. So there was still a couple of teams. I think like the Colts, a couple other teams that like, were in the mix. But then Ray kept calling, and then Ed Reed was my college teammate. He hit me up too. And then I thought about it too.
These are two defensive players that are...
Me and Ed was real close in college. So I guess Ray must have said, call him. So Ed finally called me. And then I had to look. Then I looked at the offensive line, and my center from my rookie year all the way up until basically for 7 years, the center I had in Minnesota was at Baltimore. He left 2 years before me, went to Baltimore, which is Matt Burke. And I was like, I'm already familiar with how he calls the offense as a center. I'm familiar with him. Okay, that would make sense for me to go where Matt Burke is because I'm very familiar with him already.
Exactly.
Played with him for 7 years.
Because the center's like the quarterback of the line.
Yeah, he has to communicate with us to how we see everything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Once you're familiar with that person, so it to me after a while was like, all right, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's downhill after that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I ended up in Baltimore.
Which ultimately led to a Super Bowl and everything.
The second year. The first year, actually, we went like 12-4, and we went to the AFC Championship, and we lost to New England. And then I remember Ray saying, Ray said it from the beginning that, you're the missing piece to help us get to the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right, cool. And I just feel like that's a speech that people say. But then when we got to the NFC Championship, and we lost, the AFC Championship, and we lost to New England, he was supposed to retire after that year. His whole goal was to go to the Super Bowl and end on that note. So when he gave the speech at the end, don't hold your head low because we're going to be back in the same situation next year, I thought two things, like, so that means you're coming back. And then two, I was like, what's the odds of us being back here next year?
Yeah, because it's hard in the NFL.
Hard in the NFL, but things have to line up for us to be back in New England to play in the AFC Championship all over again too.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Makes sense, okay.
Following year goes by, our record wasn't as good, but then we had a great playoff rush. We started off with home game with the Colts.
Okay.
And then our second game was the number 1 seed, which was Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos.
Wow, okay.
Somehow we had a miracle play towards the end, and Jacoby Jones caught it, and we went on and won that game, and that now put us back in the AFC Championship against New England again, right? New England. I was like, this is crazy.
I got it, Foxborough, right.
Yeah, and then I knew once we got
How was the feeling? Yeah, how was the feeling in that game right there?
That game, once we beat Denver, I knew that we were going to beat them because how we felt in the locker room, how we felt the year before in the locker room. You know what I'm saying?
That hurt.
So I was just like, a majority of us was the same group of people. I never questioned if we would beat them by the time we...
Was the whole team had that same feeling?
Yeah, everybody was on the same page.
But come on, you got Tom Brady,
it didn't matter.
Belichick.
Just that game, I feel like everybody knew this is our opportunity to get your lick back. You know what I'm saying?
Let me get my get back.
Yeah, so it's like, nah, we're not going to go down twice. And it wasn't even a close game. Like that game that we played the year before, we had caught his name Lee Evans. They say he didn't catch the ball. He caught it, but they're trying to say he dropped it. I don't know. They said it wasn't a catch in the end zone.
Right.
And then our kicker was supposed to kick, and that would have won the game, and he missed it.
Ooh.
So that was a very close game. The next year, it wasn't close.
Oh. which, by the way, you guys won that Super Bowl based upon your defense and running. Who was your quarterback? Because you guys didn't
We
have
actually won that Super Bowl at the
Brad
beginning.
Johnson was your quarterback? What was your quarterback?
Where?
In Baltimore.
Oh, Joe Flacco.
Flacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Flacco was playing well, but so was the receivers in the running game and everything had started doing good during the playoffs. That Super Bowl with the actual game was a game that was getting away. Like, score was like 28-7 coming out the because we scored up. They kicked off the ball to us. Jacoby ran it back for a touchdown. So I think it was like 28-7.
Right.
Coming out of halftime, and then you remember defense was on the field. We already had a long halftime because Beyonce performed at halftime. So the halftime's 30 minutes. So offense, we were supposed to be up first, and then he ran it back for a touchdown. Defense is on the field, then the lights go out. So the lights go out.
This happened in this Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The lights go out, and that's like a 30-minute delay of the first 5-10 minutes don't know like what's going to happen.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah. And then after that, it's, they have the generator. They're going to put it back on.
Wait, what ended up happening with the lights going? That was just a power failure or something like that?
That's why I said out of all times, you're going to have a power failure during the Super Bowl when
the world is watching?
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know because, like I said, it was the game was getting away from itself. It was 28-7 or something like that.
Right.
And maybe somebody was just like, this ain't supposed to go like this, and we need the betting lines to be a little closer side. Because
man.
Somebody hit a switch somewhere.
Somebody wasn't happy.
We just was like, oh yeah, we blamed on Beyonce using all the power in the stadium, but something went wrong. We don't know.
Okay. After you won the Super Bowl,
yeah.
How's your feeling? How's the feeling at that moment? Was that the highest point in your life?
It reminded me of the national championship. Because it seemed like I was at a bowl game. When you go to colleges, you have a bowl, you have media day, you have all that. That was my first time going to a Super Bowl, so it reminded me of the whole week of preparation, reminded me of being at a college bowl game. You had different things lined up to do, but you still had practice. But they still wanted you to have a good time, but you still had to take care of business. Yeah, you still got business to take care of, but we also going to have y'all go to these different events we have, but it was like a balance. And you got family in town. It's a lot
of the social stuff outside of football that kind of...
that they have you go to as a team, not like on hanging out, but just like different like dinners or different events or different things that they just have you come to as a team. But then you also got to remember like, all right, but we still here for this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so.
But you won the Super Bowl. This is knowing that you're a world champion at that point. Was it a fulfilling feeling?
Yeah, that's the reason why you play. I feel like it's a reason why everybody plays to get to that highest point to be called a champion. So after 11 long years,
okay,
and then back in 2009 when I thought I was going to become one, and then that kind of slipped away because had we went to the Super Bowl in 2009, we would have won. We had a really solid team. Yeah, we would have won. New Orleans ended up winning that year, but we would have won. So yeah, that was my chance to.
Now, I want to transition now because football's behind you now. All right, so what's the main focus right now?
It's two of them.
Two of them.
One is my company, Let's Chat. Let's Chat, we do language translation in real time, over 100 languages. We do podcasts. We do the NFL. We do subtitling for their Game Pass. We just signed Major League Soccer, so we'll do their playbooks. We'll do anything they need. We even do food and beverage, so McDonald's or Bojangles. We do like their, the guides, when people when they first get the job there, they give like the manual type of thing.
Human resources or?
When like you get the job, they have to give you a manual of like how to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we translate that for them. We're starting to work on drive-thrus and stuff like that because we can do audio and we can also do QR codes. It's based off your device settings. So that's another thing.
Really?
We do websites. So people never know the origin of the language if they go to your website. It'll come up based off the person's device setting on their computer or their phone. Comcast is a shareholder in our company. I allow my partners to use, we all have a website for the company. I allow them to use mine to reach out to people because they have my name in it and just see if anybody recognizes it. And there was a guy who I played with. No, I didn't play when I worked out with him back in 2011.
Right.
Down here with Pete Barbarito. And he now works at Comcast. And he's seen it and he reached out and started replying. Then they sent it to me like, do you remember him? And I was like, no. But then he sent the picture. He sent the picture of us from working out. And I was like, I'm in the picture. So
well,
we
obviously,
definitely met.
right? Okay.
And then so we started going back and forth. So the whole time he thought he was talking to me, but he was really talking to our partners. And then he introduced us to the leads over at Comcast, and they were getting companies. They were picking on like 10 companies for their accelerator program, which we did for 3 months. And then we were part of it.
So how'd you even get into this? So wait a minute.
All right, so how I got into it, let's start there.
Huh?
2017, see, I feel like God put you in the right place at the right time. I'm just minding my business. But 2017 here, I was already going out to LA because I have a friend, she had the same birthday as mine. She was turning 50, so I was like, I'm going to come out there. We'll celebrate together. It was a hurricane coming the beginning of September.
Okay.
So I just left earlier and I went out to LA.
Okay.
I just stayed out there for 2.5 weeks. So in my stay out there, Flow Rider was shooting a music video at the guy who created the app or whatever. It's not an app, like the plugin. His parents has like the second most filmed house out there in LA County. Flo was shooting a music video there.
This is a dope house. Fair to say.
Big house, yeah.
Okay.
Flo was shooting a video for a song called Zillionaire. His nephew Colin went to the University of Miami as well, and I'm friends with all them.
Okay.
So Colin met the two guys because they're younger than me.
Right.
They explained to Colin what they had in hopes that Colin would link them to Flo. Colin wanted to do something else outside of Flo, so Colin called me because he knew I was in town and had me come over and set up a meeting for me to meet with the guys.
Right, okay.
So that's how I got connected to them. Is actually Colin was like, my uncle's already doing the music out, but B-Mac's out here. I'm going to call B-Mac and we'll all get together.
Link up and everything like that.
And Colin's the one who introduced me to them. And then from there, I was an ambassador like around 2016 here for Uber XL.
Okay.
Uber XL got introduced to South Florida around that time, around like 2016. And I used to have issues, so they would pay me to do the Uber thing. And the language barrier, I would have issues sometimes. They would cancel rides. So once they told me about the language translation thing, I was like, first thing I thought was, we need to get this on Uber. And that's what got me interested. So then once I got interested and heard more about it, I agreed to be a part of it, and that's how I got us connected to the NFL. That basically got us into Comcast, got us Bojangles, the CEO of Bojangles went to the University of Miami. I'm friends with him. His name is Jose. However, he was the former COO of McDonald's. I knew him from there. He stepped down from McDonald's and retired. I just reached out to him to connect me with somebody at McDonald's. Hey, this is what I got going on. Can you have any leads at McDonald's? He said, I ain't tell you I came out of retirement, so pitch it to me because I'm the CEO of Bojangles now. I'm like, what? So
he's like, hold on, yeah, okay.
I pitched it to him, and then he was with it, so he hired us or whatever. One of my friends from high school, I'm big on, I know how to have relationships, keep relationships going and stuff. Okay. So one of my high school friends, I told him what was going on. He's the one who ended up connecting me with McDonald's, and then he worked at Coca-Cola, and he got us in Coca-Cola as well.
Okay. So it's it's funny, you end up getting into this platform just by networking, yeah.
Just because if Colin wanted to take it to Flow, he could have took it to Flow, but for some reason he was just like, dang, B-Mac's out here, let me call him and we'll all do it.
Wow. And by the way, this is a translation.
The documents, because it's actually a plugin that we just put like coding into like your website or whatever. So we can do podcasts. We just did Tony Hawk's podcast. We did some translation for him, and he likes it. And that's just because it gets you a wider audience of people who can tune in and understand it.
Obviously, with all the different languages and nationalities out there.
So we just did his. And then now I'm looking to take it over. So when I go to the company, we have meetings in New York, January 14th to the 17th. So I did music, and my music was through Atlantic Records. So I had the meeting with the president of Atlantic. Hey, I'm coming up here. He said, yeah, let's see how we connect the dots. I said, I'm going to bring my two guys in. We're going to give you a demo of how it works and how we can translate music and do everything else as far as your websites, whatever else you need. We're setting up a meeting to go there too.
Is this any AI based? Is this artificial intelligence at all, or is all?
It's just a plugin, basically. It's not. It's just coding that we use, and it just is recognition.
Okay, so what's the next step for Let's Chat then? Is it something
to get acquired and make it be like $1 billion buyout?
What? Okay,
it's that type of company. Because it's bringing everybody closer together to have to do business with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no language barriers. So we can even do call centers and all. Like the chief of Coral Gables, his name's Ed Hudat. He was the guy who, when we had like games at University of Miami, he was always the cop that traveled with us. Me and him are cool. And I reached out to him and told him that too. So he was open to us helping them with their call centers and then things because they said you might have somebody pick up the phone who's Spanish, but somebody speaking Creole, and he needs that
right.
real time to be able to, because you can't always get somebody who speaks that language. So I just need to be able to translate it right away because it's an emergency.
And so you're really helping to connect the world.
That's the goal.
And that's a beautiful thing, obviously, with the world is right now. We need more of platforms like that.
And then that allows more people to work together, you know what I mean? Do business together.
So, and talking about doing business together now, right? So you also into philanthropy, right? So touch on that a little bit.
So I have my foundation is B Major Foundation, where basically is healthy kids, healthy living, like keeping younger kids active and
we need that nowadays with this generation.
Yeah, because they're always on their phones and things.
Yeah, social media
They're
and all
not even being active with each other, like communicating with each other. So keeping kids active and out doing things. Single parent homes, because I come from one, so I focus on giving back to that. And then mental health awareness, I added that because I had two players once we all retired. They were having like mental issue, like bouts and stuff.
Right.
And I always heard people talk about mental health, but it wasn't in my face till seeing those two people. And I was
through it, right?
Oh, this is for real. No. And I actually took the role and actually was communicating with the NFL and the NFLPA and making sure they were in programs that's supposed to help them and things like that.
Right, okay.
So the fact that I had got so involved, I said I need to add this on to my mission statement. And last April,
right,
I had my first mental health awareness panel, and I had myself, 2 therapists, a surgeon, 2 reality stars, and another athlete speak. We all spoke on the panel, and I had somebody host it, and it was a really great turnout. Actually, it allowed an insurance company to come in and now be a sponsor for some events that I do now too, because they're Florida Blue. Florida Blue's one of the sponsors for the toy drive. So then,
Florida Blue, one of the largest insurances.
So they've now come on board to them as another insurance company called Entedite. They've come on board and they are going to help me moving forward with different events, and especially in the mental health realm, because Florida Blues Insurance helps provide mental health, like counseling and things like that. So.
Okay. And staying on mental health, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a really big issue nowadays, especially the way the world is since the pandemic and everything. And I want to, your platform is more connecting people, and we're such at a disconnected world right now. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts about society, the way how social media and the pandemic
social media disconnects people.
I don't disagree with you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't disagree. But the thing is here. It's like having a child. Yeah, and it's not going nowhere.
I feel like everything has to have a healthy balance. You have to know when to put your phone down. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
Like when I'm in the gym, my phone is down. Because I'm here to be in the gym. I want to be present here. I'm running and checking my phone. I'm not there to take selfies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How a lot of people
I might have my trainer, like, when we doing certain workouts, like, just film this, but I'm not touching my phone. I'm there for that.
Saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
You can catch me do certain exercises, but I'm not in the phone at all. You have to have moments where you take breaks away from the phone.
That is true. It's hard to tell that nowadays in this younger generation, since everything is centered around it.
It's become a habit for them. They had the habit of having times where everything is in moderation. So if they had times where they say, okay, I'm going to give a break here and there, you still can use the phone, but like,
limit
just
it.
Know that. Come on now. Like, when I'm doing this, I just won't bother with the phone. But when I'm finished, I'm on the phone. Just have your windows of when you use it and when you don't.
True. Listen, if you're having a hard time understanding how credit works, or you want a better understanding of how to boost your credit, you definitely want to check out Uptrend Credit on learning how to leverage your credit to hit your goals. Now, Uptrend Credit is an easy-to-use credit monitoring platform that's utilized to help close the wealth gap with the right resources in helping you doing so. So definitely check out uptrendcredit.com to see how you can help stay on top of your financial goals. Okay. And with that being said, your philanthropy and your toy drive is very centered on helping the community again.
Right, I just did Turkey. I did Operation Turkey, where we did 2,000 meals for the community. Yeah, so I do a lot. In February, March, I do something where I'm actually the host. It's not my foundation. There's a family who came to me. This is the 11th year, so they had to come to me about 11 or 12 years ago.
Right.
I think his niece or granddaughter has cystic fibrosis, and they were trying to start something, and they wanted me to be the host of it. And I was like, all right, it can't be boring. Like, it got to be something entertaining, because I'm like a fun entertainer. So we started a kickball tournament.
A kickball tournament? Oh, you don't brought it back to the middle school days. I feel like
everybody can play kickball.
Come on, that is true. Real talk.
So we have a big kickball tournament, and then I have an all-star team of different former players, athletes.
Come out supporting and everything like that, right?
And the winner, so in the past, the winner would play my All-Star team. The winner of the tournament would play my All-Star team. But this year, we did it where they raffled the people who get to be one team against my team.
Okay. To make it a little bit more competitive, is that
just to make it like...
Or fun?
No, to make it where my team was the last. So basically, the winner played us. So everybody was pretty much gone by the time we got there. So it's like, so let's have us come in the prime of it and allow people to see us.
To make it a little bit more, like, more eyeballs.
Yeah, for them to see us. Because it's like, they know what the prize was, but a lot of people was there all day long because it was a tournament.
True.
And it grew. So by the time we would get there, it would be like 5 o'clock. They started like at 10 or 11 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So they just moved it now. So I think we're there like around noon or 1 o'clock and we play and then play one round and then they finish the tournament.
So you really big in the community and that's dope. I like that. Especially, it's good to see a lot of former players do that. It's almost an obligation, right?
If you're given a certain platform and then you're blessed, what are you doing with the platform? Like, why you want everybody to watch you if you not doing nothing but causing chaos and all that? What are you doing with your platform?
Man, you could tell that to a lot of rappers out there, right?
Right, but it's like, what are you doing? Like,
boy.
Do something like to inspire and help somebody. Like, you just got a platform for what?
There's a lot of people, they would tell you back, I'm just here for the money.
Make your money, but like, you here for the money. I feel like God bless you so you can bless others. You know what I'm saying? So if you just here for the money, all right, then just be here for the money, but then don't show us
all the other
show
nonsense.
us something positive. Give us a little balance though. Don't
especially our people. We need it. We need that help. We
so
need that growth.
Eventually I want to add 2024 I want to add financial literacy onto it too because
okay, you're talking my love language now.
But I feel like you have to, and then even more now because of you have these guys who are in college with these NIL deals and stuff like that too. So
name, image, likeness.
Even younger, getting a lot of money.
Somebody just got a deal from Gatorade, if I'm not mistaken, a couple days ago.
They could have.
Yeah.
I feel like some of them are not using it properly. I know if me and Avery was in school and we were getting these deals, we were doing things. No, it's like how we would use it though. We would still have been using it to when we wasn't in college. We were making friends with different people that like works, and we were like, okay, we go here, they gonna hook us up.
They hook us up, yeah.
So we go as a group, you know what I'm saying? Go to places, meet people, and take everybody because we knew we can get a hookup. So now if you have funding, you do things to bring the team together. We used to travel when we was in college. They all came home to Jersey with me. Ed Reed, like the DBs. For some reason, the DBs and O-line were like close. So we all hung out. I don't even know why. But
what the hell is that? Yeah.
The O-line. Like
plus y'all big as hell and they just
But we all like hung out. So like Joaquin, Big Vern, all them, and Ed Reed and Marquise and all them, they all came back home to Jersey with me. And we hung out. And then, of course, we was in New Orleans for the bowl game. We used to go to Joaquin's parents' house. So it was my first time having sangria and Cuban sandwiches. We hung out with each other. So I feel like we would use the funding to any money we was to do stuff for all of Clinton Portis used to take the O-line to dinner every Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But let's go out to eat on Thursdays. His treat on him back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Like these guys not thinking like that.
Now it's everybody for themselves.
It causes separation for a lot of people. Are making money, they get in their house, and they just worry about them and their family. You know what I'm saying?
And matter of fact, I want to share a story with you because I read a article like Sam Bradford, you know, the Super Bowl winning quarterback for the LA Rams, right? He's like 38 years old, and he was saying how in a way he telling his wife or something he was contemplating retirement because the game's not the same nowadays. When he goes to the locker room, all of these like kids that are 24, 25, they're just on their cell phone now. Like the locker room is like broken. The camaraderie is not there.
Yeah, when I was in Minnesota, they had cornhole. They had like different stuff. Like, they did. So when you be in the locker room, like between like meetings and stuff, you had guys playing cornhole, like different stuff. Like
really vibing pretty much.
People came in and had their speakers on, their radio on. I remember it was like this on Fridays. It was some song, I forget the man's name, but Avante Lee, she from like South Carolina, North Carolina, somewhere. It was like this old juke joint type of song. He would play every Friday. It was an old school like juke joint song, and he would play every Friday in the locker room. I was like, yes, Friday, because he plays this every Friday. The song was something called Friday, but I forget who the guy was. I don't know, but you just had, it was different things like that took place. Minnesota, every Friday they had somebody coming with food. Like you had
catering.
Catering every Friday. You had different things that made people like after work, you just grab your plate, you sit down at your locker, eat, and you're talking, interacting.
Okay, which I want to ask you another question because I had another former NFL player. He won the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens too as well. I'm not sure if Deontay, he's a wide
Thompson.
receiver. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we was on the same team.
Oh, okay.
He's from like Belgrade or something, right?
The Muck. Yeah, exactly. He was on the show. I had him on the show as well too. And
yeah, so him, McPhee's from up there too.
Yeah, okay.
He's
Deontay then. Okay, cool.
He has like a restaurant now too.
Yeah, the Muck in Belgrade. Now, I asked him a question. He said, when it comes to the mission in football, it doesn't matter what background you're from, doesn't matter how you feel about the next person, you got to buy in. Because he was saying there was dudes in that locker room that you could tell they was even racist. But just the fact that you guys had that one overall goal,
you knew what you was there for.
You knew you was there for, and you was going to put it all out of the line.
There was a couple guys that they were... they could be racist or they just didn't understand black people.
I like how you put that.
Yeah.
I like how you put that there. Okay.
Yeah, because it's different. Because we can be different.
Yeah, you just be
they
like,
ain't really agree with it. Like,
but we ain't agreeing with them either.
But they just bought in and went with it. Like, but these are my teammates. I'm going to ride with them for whatever.
Ride for the cause. The cause was bigger.
And that's the difference between pros and college. They gonna ride with you in that locker room outside that locker room.
Forget about it.
It was all right, peace. But in college, it was inside and outside the locker room. You know what I mean?
Okay, because y'all college kids and y'all just hanging out and doing whatnot, doing your thing. Okay.
Everybody from somewhere else, and majority of y'all in a foreign place. Everybody.
Because
from different places.
Okay.
We had guys from Canada. We had from everywhere: California, Texas. I'm from Jersey, New Orleans. So you have all these people in one place together. So yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to go ahead as we get ready to wrap up the show a little bit here. If you could share with the audience a little bit, because a lot of the people that watch the show are aspiring entrepreneurs. They're starting to get their business or they're aspiring to get their business off the ground. What's one bit of advice you can share with the audience as far as overcoming adversity to build a long-lasting legacy like you're doing right now?
I just feel like you have to be consistent at what you do. You have to do the work, like the leg work, and really like look things up and figure things out. And then every day is not going to be a good day. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Business goes up and down. Your emotions in that business goes up and down. Some days you might be like, I don't know if I want to do this. Some days you be like, I feel great and I want to do it. But it's just being consistent and being when it's a passion of yours of what you're doing, it's not going to feel like work. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So have a passion about it so it doesn't feel like work. Because when it feels like work, then you're always looking at when can I get off or when can I, but when it's a passion, you're always going to look at how can I get better? You know what I'm saying? So make sure it's something that you really enjoy doing. That's what I really feel about
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah, really love what you're doing. Because if you're just doing something to make money.
Money's just a byproduct anyway.
A lot of people do things for money.
Just for it's a money grab.
But you got to do things that you love because it's not going to feel like work.
So what do you think of those people that kind of want to take the shortcut route a little bit? Just go.
That's the microwave. It don't never taste as good and it don't last
I feel like you be watching this show because I say that all the time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I say these microwave. I call this generation microwave babies.
Yeah, they are.
Instant gratification. You know?
Right now, and then microwave food don't always taste that good, and it don't really stay warm that long either. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Bryant, man, this has been a dope conversation. I damn sure learned a little bit, as well as the audience, a little bit how important it is brotherhood when it comes to a locker room. Also, for having a cause bigger than yourself and pursuing that cause, which is a great takeaway for the audience. So now going into 2024 now, what are you looking forward to? What's on the agenda?
2024 is really for Let's Chat to even get even bigger with a lot more of these corporations. Like I said, we start with Major League Soccer 2024. So that's like a big deal for us. And they're going to come on as investors because we have to hire more people because that's a big organization. A lot of translations. My guy Jordan can't do all of his stuff, so he has to hire the people to come on board to help with translation. So they're going to invest in the company.
Wow, dope, man. So
that'll be really big for us.
2024, there's some big things for Let's Chat.
And then for Let's Chat, and then for my Be Major Foundation and to do another mental health panel and then do the rest of the events I've been doing all year from Assisted Fibrosis. Operation Prom I've done where I take care of somebody's prom they have to write in. Basically what I'm doing right now is 99 Jams. I partner with them. You got to write in with 99 words or less. Your children's wish list. We read and see who has like, I guess the saddest stories. I was about to say the best stories, but like the saddest stories.
Yeah, like damn.
And then you pick them.
That would be
right. So you just pick 5 families basically, do their list, but also on top of the 5 families, I'm still gonna have a whole bunch of toys for other families just to come
Wow,
And then on
okay.
top of that, told you Florida Blue and the Taylor Day, they're investors. So we're going to have people opportunity to come in, and if they register with them at the event, that'll enter them in a raffle, which will have 4 opportunities to win $250. So that's really getting people to push to get health insurance, and then the health insurance also helps you get counseling for your mental health and all that stuff. And some of it could be for free.
Man, Rich, I'm really inspired in the fact that you're doing this mental health push and everything like that. Again, I feel like that's something that's really overlooked.
Oh, it is. And what I learned on our panel last year, because by me having a surgeon up there, he was saying how people grieve because they may have lost a limb. Like it's different things that affect your mental health through far as
it doesn't even have to be physical sometimes too, right?
It can be
emotionally,
yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of different, but me sitting up there and just listening to, because I had 2 therapists up there too, and just listening to different things about mental health and how people go through things, like it's a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of different avenues. And leaving that event, I had friends hit me the next day and they were telling me things that they were going through, and they only felt comfortable telling me because of hearing all of us up there talk.
Because now it felt like since they could see you're vulnerable a little bit, it's okay for them to win. Right.
I would have had no clue, because it was one of my friends who I feel like is always just smiling and would have never knew.
Would have never knew that they're going through something, right? And and no matter what the mask anybody puts on, everybody's going through something. Right.
At some point, yeah.
Hey, if you're human, right? So I'm glad to hear that. So 2024 is a big year for you then. Okay, Let's Chat. You're a B Major Foundation. Right. Awesome.
And maybe eventually get back in music, because you never even asked me about the artist.
Yeah, but okay. You got so much. We got some time for that. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's finish on the music.
The group Pretty Ricky, right?
I had Baby Blue on the show.
All right, so Pleasure P is the singer in the group. I'm the person who got him out of his contract and got his solo album, and I'm the co-executive producer along with Craig Common from Atlantic on the introduction to Marcus Cooper that got nominated for 3 Grammys.
Really?
Yep.
Wait, so first of all, how did you even get in? You said you was doing it during your career, so give a timeline about that.
Back in college, myself, Ed Reed, Jared Payton, and Brandon Carey was like, oh, we need to do a label together.
Man, wait a minute. Why does every young black boy got to...
But I have a background in music. I knew how to play the piano. I come around music, and then my mom, she, outside of her regular job, she did dance, jazz, ballet, and tap and all that stuff. So I was around music and those type of arts. Okay. So for me to do a label, I was always in the mindset of, I guess, being competitive, because it's like I have to be taken serious, because at that time. Okay.
So you guys really took it serious from even from discussion? Like
I was really taking it serious.
Okay, you was. All right.
Because I'm the only one who did it.
Good point.
Everybody, and then I had got the opportunity to do it. So like, I didn't want to be like, oh, these guys are just wasting their money, because some other people you have out there in the music, athletes that didn't really have an ear for music. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I did, and I do. So
the Grammys back it up. Come on.
Yeah, but I also have other things. If you're looking at my social media, where people are telling you I've come in and I've A&R different projects and done stuff for them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Trina, so if you watch Trina's show, it's on my page, but she says how she was in the studio, and I knew she was going through things where, her mom was sick at the time, and she was working on a project, and she used to call me to the studio to listen to stuff.
Just to give that extra ear, right?
And I knew she had a song. I already knew the song. Kelly Price was in town, and
Kelly.
I was hanging out with her, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go by the studio and see Trina. She's like, oh yeah, okay. I had hit up Trina. I said, hey, I'm gonna come to the studio, and I'm gonna bring somebody with me. And she was like, all right, cool, we here. So I go there, and I came in the studio before Kelly did. Right. And I sat in there, I said, oh yeah, so my friend like 5 minutes away, whatever. And she's like, all right, cool. And then walks in Kelly Price.
Which is a legend, by the way.
It is, but Trina's never met her in that close space.
In that capacity.
So she's, what the world, like, not expecting me. Like, she's thinking I'm coming around with one of my friends. Because me and my homeboy came in, I think she thinking it's like another homie or something like that. But it was her, but I knew that Kelly was in a space where she was like, oh yeah, I'm open, like, I'll do something for her, she do something for me.
A barter deal.
Trina was like, so what you doing? She don't working on projects. She said, oh, let me hear some stuff. So she playing some stuff. And then we going through the song. I'm like, oh, play the mama song. So Trina plays it. And then Kelly like, stop the music. And she was like, I'm going to get on this song. And then Trina's, oh, okay, so you want me to mail it to you? Or Like, how you gonna be email it to you and you just doing it, send it back? She said, no, I'm gonna do it now.
Right now.
Trina was like, what? Like, was so surprised because she just felt like it was like your typical, celebrities like, I'll do it. And just email it to me.
You would have thought that she had the attitude. It was like, okay, I'll do it.
Some artists be like, I'll jump on this, just send it to me, and they'll take their time doing it, or they just won't never do it, just in conversation. But she got in that studio.
But that showed how much Kelly loved the song too, which also is a bigger testament to your ear, right?
Right. Okay. And she just got in that studio, in that booth, and just did it right on the spot. And then Trina was sitting here, I can't believe this. But it happened. And they shot a music video and all to it.
So, and it's funny, you never had the desire to be in front of the camera when it comes to the music. You always wanted to be more the executive and everything like that.
I want to put it together. I don't want to be an artist.
I can just see you, big 6'8", on the camera right now.
Well, last year, now you think about it. Last year, I was on America's Got Talent, and we made it to the semifinals. Yeah. See, you got to do some research. You ain't doing enough. So we made it to the semifinals, and we got brought back. We had a chance to get brought back to the finals. So out of the 4 judges, they each get to vote for somebody who got voted off. Simon voted for us to bring us back. After the 4 are nominated, America has to vote on the 4 for 1, and we didn't win that part though. But yeah,
man, wait a minute, you're right. I really have been trying you because damn, Wikipedia left a little bit out there because damn, I have not realized
that was just last year.
Really?
Yup, last October we were in the semifinals.
So how far are you trying to? No,
how far will I?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's when it comes to the music.
The music, I'm definitely looking to get back into it. So that's another thing in 2024 is eventually get back into the music space. I just wanted to make sure everything else was able to run itself without me having to be so hands-on. So like when Let's Chat, I feel like gets to a space where I don't have to be there all the time. It's getting there now.
Which that's why I want to ask you, do you feel like you're biting off a little more than you can chew a little bit?
No, because I'm doing everything and giving it its time to grow. And then once it starts to move, I can now move. So now it's like my whole thing is my foundation to get that up and going and then have the right team and move that. And then now I can, so once it starts operating itself, then now I can get back into the music. Because I feel like with the music, I have to be there with them people who...
It's a little bit of babysitting a little bit.
Yeah. It's a lot of time and energy. So let me get those 2 things going. And then I always know, especially with my foundation, when the events are. It's in February, it's in May, it's in August, it's in November.
You get a heads up.
I know when the events are because they're the same time of year every year. You know what I'm saying? Let's Chat. I have a team too.
Which is okay.
So they can call me, like that's I already know the dates, January 14th to the 17th, I'll be in New York because I already had when I write stuff down, I remember it.
It's locked in.
Yeah, so I already know, I already got to go to New York for them. And that's how I'm scheduling that meeting up there with Atlantic Records too while I'm there too. Just trying to get in touch with the people I know there and even at BET to start doing stuff behind production and translating that stuff too.
Man, nothing but blessings and success for you, man. Seriously.
But that's why I try so hard to give back too.
Man, seriously, because this is great. I mean, you could have easily retired and just gone ahead and, play 12 rounds of golf and everything like
that's
that.
That's going to get boring.
To a degree. Charles Barkley does it pretty much very well. But hey.
There's camaraderie there between him, Shaq, and Kenny and everybody up there. And you know what I mean? So they still like doing being active thing. And doing stuff,
Okay, but I've seen you've put in your passion, energy, and focus on it.
And also I have a booking company, so I book people too because of my relationships that I've developed through the years, whether it's artists, whether it's reality stars or actors and actresses. When they come in town or like even other cities, like because I'm from Jersey or other cities I've played in, I book them mainly here, but I can book them in other
locations if they want to.
Like different like promoters or club owners, they'll know me and they'll say, "Hey, you have anybody available?" And I give them a list of people.
Man,
but that just comes from personality and just it was something I was just doing on the house at first, and I was like, "No, I need to make this a business."
Yeah, and plus throughout your career, you've been able to build up a lot of relationships, and you know what they say: your net worth is your network. So you've obviously been able to leverage that. And man, Bryant, before we go ahead and wrap up the show, let everybody know where they can find you.
Okay.
On every platform.
All of my social media handles is my name, Bryant McKinnie. It just makes it that simple. So I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram.
Threads.
Yeah.
Who the hell is on Threads?
I just got on there because I normally get on everything late. I always get on stuff late. I got on Instagram late. I don't be taking all these pictures. I ain't getting on Instagram. I got on there late. And like all that stuff I got on late. So when Threads came, I said, let me jump on.
Let me be one of the first. I feel you. Okay.
So yeah, Bryant McKinnie, BryantMcKinnie.
That's what's up, man. Listen, Brian, glad to have you, man.
On Facebook too.
On Facebook? Oh, so you're still a little old school then. Okay, still there.
I tried to do a little bit of everything.
As long you ain't on Snapchat now, is that?
I'm on Snapchat too.
Oh man, what?
Yeah, I am on my Snapchat. So what I do is I use my Snapchat to take the videos, then I save it, then I put it onto my Instagram story. So that way you kill two birds with one stone.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, hopefully get a point where Mark Zuckerberg and these tech companies hitting you up for the translation on their platform.
Because they have one, they have the little translate thing I see on Uber, but we could just already just translate it based off your device language. You know what I'm saying? So eventually...
So if you're on French, you could translate it to Italian or whatever.
Whatever the device language is set as, it'll just come up as that for them.
Oh, wow.
And then they'll communicate back to whoever in their device settings. Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Interesting. Listen, man, Bryant, glad to have you on today's show. Listen, I hope the audience was able to enjoy today's show. This where what we've learned today was the power of relationships, the power of leveraging those relationships, and as well as building the legacy. Also, guys, you can check out the Respect My Blueprint podcast every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., where we go ahead and give you the blueprint on how to do shit. And as always, guys, if you're still watching right now, you know what time it is. We're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. Great show. Yes.